In general, the base period weight is preferred. So generally the base period weight is taken, that is Q0, and the current period weight. So Sensex is the short form of Bombay Stock Exchange Sensitive Index with 1978 to 79 as the base year. There is an increase by the year 1986 to 2017 by 778% in the All India Consumer Price Index. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Nikhilavati S, Faculty of Commerce, Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. I welcome you all for the sessions on the subject Economics for first PUC, and we are in the 7th chapter, that is Index Number, in part A of Economics, that is Statistics for Economics. And here in this session we will be discussing about the method of averaging relatives and consumer price index, then index of industrial production, human development index, and we will be discussing about what is Sensex is all about. So as I said in the last session, index numbers are used for various purposes. So we are going to look what are the different purposes in which the index numbers are calculated. So as you can see, the index number is calculated for consumer price, then industrial production, then human development, as well as Sensex, that is the index number that is used in the stock market. So moving forward, the first one is method of averaging relatives. So when there is only one commodity, the price index, the ratio of the price of the commodity in the current period to that in the base period is usually expressed in percentage terms. That means the price changes that has happened for a particular commodity over two different periods. That means for the current period as well as in the base period, generally we will refer it, or we'll write it in terms of percentage. So the method of averaging relatives takes the average of these relatives when there are many commodities. So under averaging relatives, so when it is one commodity, it is easy to express in percentage, but when there are different number of commodities, then we will take the average of those commodities for calculation. So that is why it is called as averaging relatives. So that means relative commodity or similar commodities. And in a weighted price relative index, the weights may be determined. So the weight here is also refers to the proportion or percentage of expenditure on them in total expenditure during the base period, and it can also refer to current period depending on the formula that is used. That means whether it should be calculated under the purchase method or last price method. So these are essentially the value shares of different commodities in the total expenditure. So moving forward, in general, the base period weight is preferred. So generally the base period weight is taken, that is Q0, and the current period weight. Then it is because calculating the weight every year is inconvenient, so there will be one base period for the entire calculations of index numbers. So it also refers to the changing values of different baskets. That means from year to year, or the quantity that is changed, etc. Next we have is consumer price index number. So why do we need consumer price index number? To know about the prices of the commodities that are used by the consumers. So how the prices have gone up or low, and what is that trend that has changed between the gap of the base period and the current period. Say for example, it is basically used by the government agencies in India, where they prepare a large number of consumer price index number, and some of them are as follows. As you can see, they do the consumer price index number for industrial workers, where for the workers it is calculated with base year is 2001, that is usually considered as 100. So the percentage, so whatever the changes that has happened, so that is whether from 100, whether it is the percentage changed by 35%, 40% or 50%, like that. So the value of index in May 2017 was 278. So the base period 2001 was 100 and the value in 2017 was 278. That means what was the change that has happened? It has increased by 178. percentage. Then All India Consumer Price Index numbers for agricultural laborers. So when we calculate the index number for agricultural laborers, whether they have increased or decreased, then taking with the base is 1986 to 87, where the base was 100%, base year is 1986 to 87, and the value of index in May 2017 was 872. That means the percentage increase that has happened is almost 772%. Then All India Consumer Price Index numbers for rural laborers with base year 1986 to 87 was 100, and value of index in 2017 was 878. So that means there is an increase by the year 1986 to 2017 by 778% in the All India Consumer Price Index. Moving forward, Index of Industrial Production. So why Index of Industrial Production is important? Just like the Consumer Price Index, even the Wholesale Price Index, this is an index which tries to measure the quantities. That means quantity that is produced by the industries. So the production has been increasing by year by year. So say for example the GDP of the country defines the total value of the goods and produced in a country for a particular year. So here, as we can see, the quantities production which has increased, that is called as industrial production. So with effect from April 2017, the base year has been fixed as 2011 and 12. So taking the base year as 100%, then the reason for fast changes in the base year is that every year a large number of items either stop being manufactured or become inconsequential. Then while many other new items start getting manufactured. So that's why while the price indices were essentially weighted averages of price relatives, then we also need to calculate the index of industrial production. And for all kinds of industrial production now, the base period is 100, then the base year is 2011 and 12. Then moving forward, the index of industrial production is available at the level of industrial sectors and sectors. Then the main branches are particularly mining, manufacturing and electricity. So then sometimes the focus is also on what are called core industries, whereas namely coal, crude oil, natural gas or refinery products, fertilizers, steel, cement and electricity, and these kinds of core industries are included. Then the 8 core industries have a combined weight of 40.27% in the industrial production index. So that was regarding the industrial production index. Then we also use the index numbers for human development. So here another useful index widely used to know the development of a country is Human Development Index. It is also short form, it is called as HDI. So here the Human Development Index provides a single index value or a measure to capture the key dimensions of human development: a long and healthy life. Second one is access to knowledge and a decent standard of living. And this HDI utilizes 4 key metrics like life expectancy of the people at birth to assess a long and healthy life. So here, as you can see, this is also very much useful to know about the human development in terms of the life expectancy. Then we have is Sensex. So Sensex is the short form of Bombay Stock Exchange Sensitive Index with 1978 to 79 as the base year. And the value of the Sensex is with reference to this period, where it is the benchmark index for the Indian stock market. Then it consists of 30 top stocks that are listed with BSE, which represent 13 sectors of the economy, and the companies listed are leaders in their respective industry. So all these 30 top stocks that are listed with BSE are the leaders in their respective industries, and they are from 13 different sectors. So, and why do we need to use these index numbers, particularly in economics? So as we have seen, like this includes all kinds of economic problems, to understand the economic problems, to know about the Indian economy and its development. What is the development that has happened? What the prices of the commodities have changed, be it consumer price index or industrial sector or human development or the stock market. So this is very important to know in order to take economic decisions for the country. So as we can see, consumer index number or cost of living index numbers are helpful in drawing some of the policies regarding wage negotiation, then formulation of income policy, price policy, then rent control, taxation. So all these decisions are taken by looking at the consumer price index. Then the wholesale price index is used to eliminate the effect of changes in prices in aggregate, such as national income, capital formation, etc., calculation of per capita income, etc. Then it is also used, especially wholesale price index is widely used to measure the rate of inflation that is there in the country. And the Sensex is useful as a, it will be acting as a guide for the investors in the stock market. And if the Sensex is rising, then investors are optimistic that the prices of the shares will increase. Whereas, if the Sensex is, decreasing, then it is not appropriate to make investments. So this is an appropriate time for investment or not. These decisions can be taken by the investors. So this was regarding the chapter index numbers. And as you can see, an index number is a statistical device for measuring relative change in the large number of items. Then there are several formulas for working out an index number and construction of index number, as we have discussed. Then the choice of formula largely depends on the question of interest, whether to calculate CPI or wholesale price index or industrial price index, etc. And we are also having different methods of calculation of index numbers under various methods, by taking the base year quantity or by taking the current year's quantity, etc. And this was all regarding the chapter index number. So hope you have understood what are the areas in economics where the index numbers are helpful and what are the benefits of them to take the economic decisions. So hope you all have understood. Thank you.